on Anele in the Club's My School Top 5. On 947, this is EWN.
Good evening, I'm Khomoto Modise. ANC NEC member Zizi Kodwa says he's ready to prove his innocence as the NPA seeks to reinstate fraud charges against him. Earlier today, the National Prosecuting Authority confirmed it will seek to reinstate the charges against the former sports minister. The charges, which were dropped in November 2024, relate to the alleged irregular awarding of government contracts to technology company EOH. Mongezi Koko reports.
Kodwa last appeared at the Palm Ridge Magistrates Court in November 2024 when the charges against him were formally withdrawn. At the time, the NPA alleged that while serving as the African National Congress's national spokesperson, Kodwa received bribes of nearly 1.7 million rand from his co-accused Johan McKay. In October that year, Kodwa submitted representations to have the charges dropped, a request that was accepted by the Director of Public Prosecutions in Gauteng. Today, Kodwa, through his lawyer Zola Majavu, says, bring it on.
They want to go that way. My client is not above the law. We'll meet them in court.
The NPA says it will approach the courts to have the graft charges reinstated. Mongezi Koko, Eyewitness News.
An organised crime police officer has told the Madlanga Commission that he believed there was no danger in sharing confidential information with alleged crime boss Busmuzi Kat Matlala. Sergeant Vaninkosi has been quizzed about his relationship with Matlala and on allegations that he acted as a middleman between suspected crime bosses and senior police officers. WhatsApp messages exposed before the Commission show Nkosi frequently exchanged internal SAPS documents with civilians. Tabiso Koba has more.
In March 2025, an internal audit report made a recommendation to SAPS to cancel a multi-million rand tender awarded to a company belonging to Visumuzi Kat Matlala. In the same month, Deputy National Police Commissioner Shadrack Sibiya forwarded the report to Sergeant Fani Nkosi. Nkosi then forwarded the report, which was clearly marked confidential, to Matlala.
To be very honest with you, Commissioner, I did not see the danger of it or the problem about it because I thought it's already in public, and in public it came as it is yesterday. To me, it was no longer confidential.
Pressed further on the matter, Nkosi refused to say whether it was wrong for a police officer to share confidential documents with civilians. Tabiso Koba, Eyewitness News.
And in India, an investigation is underway into a fire which broke out in the trauma center of a government hospital. The blaze left 10 people dead at the facility in the eastern Indian state of Odisha. All the victims were patients, while 11 staff members are being treated for burn wounds. The fire is suspected to have been caused by an electrical short circuit. A partly cloudy Tuesday in store for Gauteng with scattered showers and thunder showers expected. Joburg drops to an overnight low of 13, reaches a high of 26. Pretoria 15 and 26, Vereeniging 14 and 25. Khomoto Modise, Eyewitness News.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app. Comfort ends where Marawa Sports Worldwide begins. If it's shaking sport, we are already on it.
Welcome back to the Grand Prix podium, Lewis Hamilton. He's first with Ferrari. The new generation fighting the old. Mercedes still dominant out front.
Hashtag MSW.
Yeah, breaking news on the World Cup. Donald Trump saying it would not be appropriate for Iran's squad to be at this summer's World Cup. He says for their own life and safety. Just yesterday, FIFA President Gianni Infantino released a statement saying he'd met with Trump on Tuesday. Infantino said that Trump said that Iran will welcome at the tournament. Now, President Trump met Gianni Infantino last night and told him Iran are still welcome at the World Cup. After that, though, Iran's sports minister said there was no way they could participate. And then a short time ago, Trump has posted this on social media saying the Iran national soccer team is welcome to the World Cup, but I really don't believe it is appropriate that they be there for their own life and safety. Now, FIFA is yet to respond to requests.
Strong opinions, strong sources, strong sport.
So let's welcome the man behind Durban City's incredible run, the interim head coach himself, Upitso Dladla. Coach, I think the game on Sunday is almost being seen as a cup final.
This is true, and also it becomes a direct competition because, like, if they win this game, they gonna be on top of us, but we can't score there without being cautious of what Kaizer Chiefs are going through. They wouldn't want, if they lose, it's going to be their record. Kaizer Chiefs will come fighting to the game, but they haven't had like a consistent back four.
Vilakazi, Lilepo again, turns, scores! Hardly any backlift there from Lilepo. Vilakazi set him up, and Chiefs finally break the deadlock. 68 minutes gone.
This is where sport breaks, bends, and gets told straight.
To go all the way to Eswatini to stumble Rodney Charles to chat to somebody that I have admired. I mean, I talk about winning the 1982-83 league title. I mean, surely.
You know, up until today, I still wonder exactly how did we get this thing, because it was all the togetherness that we had, that camaraderie, that spirit of being one on the field.
Marawa Sports Worldwide on 947, Vuma FM, Rise FM, and Sowetan Live.
Yeah, we couldn't wait. We couldn't wait for Monday. Hey, it is Reaction Monday. Welcome to the show, Marawa Sports Worldwide, proudly brought to you by Hollywood Bets.
Let's go! The moments you remember. The games you can't forget. Marawa Sports Worldwide on 947, Vuma FM and Rise FM. Powered by Hollywood Bets. Not your ordinary Monday. It's Reaction Monday. Hashtag MSW.
Oh, I mean, it's so difficult to pinpoint what it was that was the most exciting over the weekend, because I mean, I can move from Formula One to the football, I can move to the Springbok Sevens, to the Proteas, you name it, and that is why I cannot wait to hear your WhatsApp voice notes coming through. It is your show, remember, on a Monday you get to get it off your chest. Let me get this off my chest, man. Springbok Sevens, wow. Showed grit as well as determination, man, defeating Fiji 10-7 in that ultimate HSBC SVNS series showdown. Hey, it was a hard-fought victory, man. Not only securing the New York Sevens title, but also clinching the overall series crown. Well done.
These are added seconds in the cup final. South Africa in control. They got a penalty. Now it's theirs. Now they can celebrate. Offside. The Blitzboks. Their fourth title in 2026, and they are HSBC 7 Series champions.
And I think it's appropriate that they win by 3 points. So they go one up in points differential. It's just so close. That's how the small margins have been all season long.
And MP Vissa, who played every minute of the cup final. Heartbreak for Fiji. So close to breaking a 10-year drought on US soil. But the Blitzboks rise to the top in the Big Apple. His 50th all-time event, MP Vissa. And he has led his team to a gold medal in New York. And another series title.
Oh man, the Blitzboks are taking a massive bite of the Big Apple, hey? The Sevens head coach Philip Snyman saying that he is filled with pride though after the Blitzboks had claimed that HSBC SVNS New York title, securing the overall 2026 series crown. South Africa edging Fiji, as you've just heard, in both the tournament and the standings, and with Snyman hailing the team's never say die attitude. He also praised the senior players for buying into his vision and also supporting the newcomers to build squad depth, describing the victory as a product of unity as well as hard work.
I can't put it in words. So proud of the players. We come a long way, and I think throughout the season, every weekend they made a step up, and this weekend was even more special. I think they played with a lot of heart, a lot of character, and they found a way to win this tournament. So really proud of them. I think we set the foundation in the beginning, the way we defended the whole tournament long. We weren't always as clinical as we would have liked to be, but the effort and heart was always there. So I knew the guys will fight for each other, and in that last minute they were all over the show, and I think they jumped out of places that nobody can imagine they can come from. So all credit must go to the players. They showed a lot of effort, a lot of heart, and I think a massive defensive effort from the players. Yes, 100%. I think last weekend we were actually more clinical than this weekend. I think in a couple of games we left a couple of tries out on the pitch, but we can't fault the guys on the effort and the heart that they showed in the Springbok Sevens jersey. So definitely believe we can still kick into another gear, but overall really happy. We can't fault them after playing in 4 finals, 3 consecutive finals, and win 3 consecutive finals.
Yeah, big one indeed. Also for the Blitzboks captain Impie Visser, marking his 50th World Series tournament in unforgettable fashion, finishing the New York final all bloodied but victorious. He admitted, though, that the team gave Fiji too much possession, but said that their determined defense won on the day.
Yeah, it's hard to find the right words for it. It's something really special and truly amazing, and just a testament to this team's character, not just this team that played this weekend, but the guys back home that's grafting, the guys that are coming through the ranks. I mean, we have one guy that made his debut, one guy that made his debut last weekend, and it just shows the work that's been going in behind the scenes, the depth that the management's been building. So just really grateful for everyone's input, the guys working hard back home, and this team for pulling it through. Honestly, I didn't think about much at that moment. I just saw that we were in trouble. They had a 3-on-2. But, Ronald Brown worked really hard to force that guy to make a pass, and then Shakes was on my inside. I can't even remember which way it was, but I just hoped that the guy in front of me would either run into touch or knock the ball, and luckily he knocked the ball. So just a little bit of fortune that came our way, but I think our defensive effort was massive. I think we kept him in the game a little bit with our passing. It weren't up to standard, but just really thankful for the win.
Also, the veteran Blitzboks Siviwe Soizwapi says that South Africa's latest series victory is even more special than their back-to-back triumphs back in 2016, 2017. Well, he is the most capped player, though, in the current squad with 64 tournament appearances. Soizwapi reflected on his journey from a younger learning the ropes, back in the days, to a senior leader overcoming injuries to return back into the team. And wow, what a return.
I think it's way up there, and thinking back on the 2017-2018 season, that was pretty special, but you're in the system, you're still learning, you're still growing as a player, and now at my age and as how long I've played as well, I think this one might just be the best one. I really think that we actually blessed with a lot of tools and skill sets within the group, and we can diversify that widely within each position. And I really think that the care and belief that is within this group right now is something pretty special. And like we said, we just want to put Springbok Sevens back to where we know we can be. Absolutely, and I think that that's the plan from the coaching staff as well. That's another advantage that we have, to have guys that have been there and that they can pass on some skill set, some knowledge, some wisdom down to the players that are coming through. And what's amazing is that the young players that are coming through, they're grabbing the opportunities and kind of working us out of the system. Absolutely. I think for them being here, it really pushes each and every one. And like I said, each position is quite competitive, and it's very competitive to make the touring squad. So when you have the opportunity at training just to kind of get one up on a young guy, or make sure that you feed off of the pressure that he puts on you, you take it 100%.
Oh, what a moment, man. Feeling like champions, eh? Kind of like over and over again, eh? I'm seeing everyone that's watching it on the YouTube channel right now. Hey, we are the champions. Feel free, sing loud and proud as South Africa as you give us your reaction.
It would have been about Kaizer Chiefs, but I need to acknowledge that I don't belong to any branch. So I will need to allow the branches who filled Soccer City yesterday to talk about the team that they support. But mine is to congratulate Blitzboks, Adrian Wildschutt, for winning the New York Half Marathon, becoming the first South African to win that race. Ricardo Gosrop, he was playing for a place in that Bafana World Cup squad. What a performance. But what was quite concerning is that even though Suwelele is sponsored by Macron, he was wearing Lecoq socks, which for me would have made headlines in any other league. But quick one from Rob, from a professionalization perspective. What has happened with the Q Innovation Initiative? Has it died? Do you know anything about it? Thank you so much, Tabukoya.
Good evening, Mr. Marawa. Ukhuluma noSibongile Nomkhwana. After a long run of a poor result, I was very happy to see my team Amazulu back to the winning ways against our homeboys, Richards Bay. And I think our last win was against them at Umhlathuze Complex in the Nedbank Cup. So I think it was very crucial for us to make sure that we get a maximum point over the weekend, so that we can make sure that we solidify our place go top 4. Teams behind us like Durban City, Sekhukhune, Kaizer Chiefs, they are trying their best to make sure that they also make it to the top 4. So yeah, I think it was a big boost for us. And I also want to thank all the fans, Mr. Marawa, who were part of us yesterday when we went to a funeral ka Usutu Queen, Usis Luyanda Mbuyazi ebesiyomfihla over the weekend eMelmot. Thank you, Mr. Marawa. Good show as always.
Well, good evening, Mr. Marawa and the MSW shareholders. What a great weekend and display of football worldwide, more especially on the Premier League side. Dorman opening the door for Arsenal so that they can have their one hand on the Premiership League title. Also, same script, different actors or different players. 1-1 for Liverpool and Tottenham Hotspurs, as well as 1-1 for Suwelele and Orlando Pirates. We just have to see in the Betway Premiership, the last day of the league, how it's going to turn out. Great show as always, Bongani Kama from Episode.
Hey, Bongani, is it over, guys? Man City, I don't know. I just don't see how convinced you are that Man City are going to put in a charge. I thought at some point that they would, but having watched them over the weekend, I don't know, it just seems like something's missing there. And it's the same team that got a hiding from Real Madrid just the other day. Is it done? Hey, Arsenal fans, are you already semi-celebrating?
Hi, Mr. Marawa and the team. My Monday reaction is with regard to FIFA and the United States. I don't foresee FIFA making any decisions that will upset the United States, especially Donald John Trump, just for commercial reasons. They will compromise their principles just for commercial gains. But what frustrates me most, Mr. Marawa, is with regard to FIFA's principles that says they know politics in FIFA, or FIFA does not entertain politics. But if you can take a look, the same FIFA president is currently entertaining politics with Donald John Trump. We are held hostage, Mr. Marawa, by the likes of Danny Jordan, because they know that no political interference and any political interference will be sanctioned by FIFA. So we are held hostage. But the same FIFA executive or the same FIFA CEO or president is currently entertaining politics with Donald John Trump. It is no longer about what is good for the goose is bad for the gander, but it's more about what is bad for the gander is bad for the goose. David in Parkwood.
Yeah, couldn't have said it better, man. I think that is happening in America is a disgrace. I think, FIFA have compromised themselves so much. They've sold the game, as Matselane Mamabulo said a couple of weeks ago. And I echo those sentiments. I truly do. I really, really think that where he, as the president of FIFA, has put football right now, even entertaining those remarks that have come through from Donald Trump, what he said about Iran. Iran qualified like every other nation that's qualified for the World Cup. They qualified. They're not there because of favor. So if you can't guarantee their safety, then who's going to guarantee them? That's why you sign up on those guarantees as nations that host a World Cup. So if you as a president are going to be uttering those words, Mr. Peacekeeper himself, and you've taken different stances, with countries like Russia, but then you say what you say. I just think that the football world should be a bit more united, because if Iran does not play, then I don't think anybody else should go to that World Cup. I don't think anybody else should go. Because why must they be excluded? Because they've gone through the very same qualification process that every other nation's gone through. And if you, in your own wisdom, want to begin a war that now you find yourself in the middle of it, but not being able to withstand the backlash, and now you're starting to ask other nations to assist. But you started it. What is the point? What was the point? So, I mean, I don't know. The World Cup, and we all love sport, and he's absolutely right about the politics of it all, and there's only 87 days until the World Cup. So what are people supposed to be doing? How are you supposed to prepare for something that in the back of your mind, security and otherwise, you're not too sure about? Give me your thoughts.
#MSW live now on 947 Vuma FM, Rise FM, and Soweto Live at the same time. #MSW.
That's how you know you're too extra.
You take a ringlet when you go to church. Reverse parking into your own garage. Shouting, let's go, when you're chiming alone. That's how you know you're too extra. Your ringtone is an actual song. Get ready with me for a funeral. Clapping for the pilots when you land. That's how you know you're too extra. You wear your headphones at a concert. Play a podcast at a birthday. A football shirt when you're on a date. That's how you know you're too extra.
In life, it's easy to be a bit too extra. But the Soul Man Load Up meal with a burger, soul fries, a cold drink, and 2 extra hot wings is just enough extra. Chicken lickin' soul food.
Introducing the new Samsung Galaxy S26 from Vodacom. The easiest AI phone. For just $849 per month over 36 months on our 3-gig record plan. Get yours with 512 gigs of memory for the price of 256 gigs. While stocks last. Enhance your deal. Add the Samsung Galaxy Watch 8 eSIM for $149 per month over 36 months. Available in-store and online. T's and C's apply. Further together. Vodacom.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Mambo Storage and Home Song. A 1, a 2, a 3, 4, 5. A little bit of pamper on your own. A little bit of bathroom time alone. A little bit of wash and soak and dry. A little bit of me time on the slide. At Mambo Storage and Home, you'll find everything you need to make your bathroom into a cuddled heaven. Mambos.co.za. Make your home your happy zone.
She types, car won't start, and the group's erupt.
No, good morning.
When last did you service it?
You still coming, hey?
Are you fine? Yeah, that's your problem.
Until she opens her First for Women app.
Roadside assistance activated.
We got you, because we get you. That's why we give you 24/7 assistance on the First for Women app. Her first, then her car, her home, her everything. Visit firstforwomen.coza, a licensed non-life insurer and FSP. T's and C's online.
Still no good morning.
Deal or No Deal now plays at 7:30. Not when it used to. But adjusting is what we do. We adjust the traffic points that work, then ask for change. We adjust the conversations we don't understand and reply confident. My thoughts exec. So this one's easy. The same show, same host, same excitement. Just later. Deal or No Deal now plays every weekday at 7:30 on SABC2. Proudly sponsored by Lotto Star.
Lotto Stars, licensed by the Mpumalanga Economic Regulator. No under 18s. National Responsible Gambling Program. 0800 006 008. T's and C's apply. All games are fixed odds betting events.
Previously on Marawa Sports Worldwide.
To go all the way to Eswatini to stumble Ronnie Charles to chat to somebody that I have admired around apartheid days. And I had a look the other day at your full squad. The team didn't have much color in it. And if you were of the darker hue, you would stand out. So was there a team that was probably the most racist team when playing against clubs that had, black players or colored players?
Definitely not, because I think they thought about me that was on the field as well. Because if they're going to insult other teams, other players, other teams that are colored and black guys, whatever, it falls back on me, and I most probably won't want to actually play there anymore. So everything was just calmed down. Moment Elliott just tell him, you got no stories to talk about racism. You're gone. You're here to play football, and that is it.
#MSW. #MSW. Not your ordinary Monday. It's Reaction Monday. #MSW.
All right, before I go to the latest on the VAR system here in South Africa, I know a lot of you have been asking me, what's the latest? We reading, we hearing, what is the truth? Well, I'm going to be chatting to Victor Gomes in a few minutes' time. Let me acknowledge, man, Kimi Antonelli becoming the, Formula One's first ever miracle worker. I want to put it that way because I think what Kimi Antonelli did is something else. If you watch that race, Formula One's second youngest race winner. Very, very composed drive to victory for Mercedes. It was an eventful Chinese Grand Prix, yes, of course it was, but the 19-year-old Italian was the youngest pole position starter and briefly lost the lead to Lewis Hamilton of Ferrari at the start. But hey, he kind of retook it soon after that and was in control, right through.
Such a great result. I achieved one of my dreams, which was to win the world to win the race, and then my next one, of course, is to win the world championship. But the road is still long, and George is super strong, and it's gonna take a lot to beat him. But I'm gonna enjoy as much as possible today because it's a great day.
What were you doing at the age of 19, I'm sure you're not winning Formula One races, were you? But it was another 1-2 finish for Mercedes to start the season as Antonelli's teammate George Russell came through a battle with both Ferraris to finish second.
Intense day. Obviously, race start, Ferrari got the upper hand of us. Safety car restart, they got the upper hand of us. And unfortunately, that was sort of hindered my chances of going for victory. Kimi did a great job, so really well done to him.
But also Lewis Hamilton, third for his long-awaited first Grand Prix podium finish for Ferrari.
Mad, absolutely mad. It was such a tough battle. It was just so hard out there. It was great fun, like dicing with the cars. I wish that we had a good start, and then I just kept losing the lead. It's really hard to hold the Mercedes off. It was impossible, actually. They were just so quick on the straight. So we really got to step up so we can. I think the car is good enough. We just need more power on the straights.
Great evening, MSW shareholders, and great evening to Darop. Patrick here. What a weekend it was, Darop, with so many sporting events. Lewis Hamilton trying the most this season. I think he's on the ride. Congratulations to Mamelodi Sundowns. We'll see where this end up to. Then go EPL, Darop. My team, Arsenal. My team, Arsenal. I'm so happy with how we've performed, even though Everton was trying the most, defend the entire 90 minutes, but we've managed to pull through 2 goals. Yeah, I'm happy, Darop. Great show as usual, Patrick here.
Hey, Patrick, thank you so much indeed. I think everybody who's a Formula One lover would have loved the fact that, we saw Lewis Hamilton on the podium, for the first time with Ferrari. And let there be more. Beautiful race to watch. My goodness. All right, let's quickly switch. But send us those voice notes. Whatever sporting code, whatever you want to vent, whatever you want to praise, there is a great deal on the plate tonight. Well, the spotlight kind of falling on a man who has stood very, very firmly and at the heart of refereeing excellence. I mean, a figure that's commanded the biggest stages in world football and now shapes the future of officiating across the continent. He is the chairman of the South African Football Association Referees Committee, the vice president of CAF's Referees Committee, and also a FIFA instructor in refereeing technology. And that is why tonight he joins us with what could be a game-changing update, though, for South African football. And after years of debate, anticipation, hey, there's been a lot of preparation, long-awaited implementation of VAR. I think it's finally shifting, from concept to reality. And the first execution meeting has been held, I'm told, and following the release of funding from the Department of Sports, Arts and Culture, marking the beginning of the real work to bring video assistant referee technology into our game. So what does this mean for referees? I mean, for the PSL, for clubs, for the players, and most importantly, for the integrity of the sport itself. And that's why tonight, to unpack that particular roadmap, the timelines and the challenges ahead with one of the most respected refereeing minds on the continent and the world, Mr. Victor Gomes. Malume, good evening and welcome to the show.
Yeah, good evening, Malum. Thanks for inviting me to your show, and good evening to your listeners. Just apologies if my voice is a bit gone. I've got the annual check-in with the flu, so I apologize.
Yeah, something's happening even here in South Africa regarding the flu. I still believe that there's remnants of COVID still lurking around, trust me. But I'm not saying you have it, but yeah.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for the opportunity, and yes, it's such a... We're still on par with what I've been saying, and if we play back old interviews, we're exactly on par as to what we've been saying. It's a big time to say thank you to the sports minister for coming to the party and helping us. Thanks to SAFA as well for always giving us support. People might not know, but we've been working at this since, I think it's May 2023. So it's not something that you walk into a retail store, pick off the shelf and start using. So we have been at it since May 2023, and finally we got our VAR technical team appointed in August last year. So thanks to the team as well, we've been working very hard at ensuring that we meet targets, budgets, and planning, ahead. So yeah, it's all come to light now. I can confirm that we have, SAFA have received the funds from the sports ministry, and we are very grateful for that. And we're obviously grateful, and we want to start getting the ball rolling and implementing certain things. So now we start with SAFA internal procedures, and yeah, it looks good. I'm very grateful, and I'm excited.
You sound excited. How soon?
Rob, good things come to those who wait. So you can see we've been waiting for some time. I think now it's a matter of us allowing the process to take its toll. I mean, we also need to train the referees, obviously. So we've budgeted that we can start within the year. We've always said that we need 1 year to train. So we're still within our timelines. Hopefully this year we need to consult. Possibly we will be ready from our side to allow maybe for a Nedbank Cup final or a semi-final to take place with VAR. And we see with the other stakeholders if they are ready. And then we can start with a final as we've always predicted.
So certainly won't be this Nedbank Cup final, though.
No, not this one right here, but the following one we could. But, we have some VAR accredited referees already in South Africa that are able to. So it's a matter of us ensuring that if we meet all the boxes are ticked and if all the stakeholders agree, I'm sure we could find a way to shorten things a little bit, in terms of training.
Are we able to discuss anything to do with the budget itself? Because, yes, the Minister of Sport has boldly said, even last week, talking about the release of the funds and what he's managed to get for this to kickstart. So are we able to talk about what that budget is like?
Rob, we've got a project lead in terms of the actual VAR team, and as I'm part of the team, but I think it would do more justice for us to do a proper media brief where we'll invite you for us to discuss certain things. At the end of the day, we need to follow the policy of ensuring that the SAFA procurement policies are adhered to and stuff. So discussing the budget now would be a little bit disingenuous because it needs to first be approved. And I think what we will do is once we are ready, we will set a media day to disclose certain things, and we're happy to discuss this type of thing.
People think that VAR is just like a screen and a replay, but it's far more complex than that. What sort of infrastructure must be installed, Victor? Give us a sense here of what needs to be installed in stadiums before the system can actually work. Because I would imagine that if you start with one game, you really want to do every single game to have VAR, because you can't have other teams now saying that, no, but our game didn't have VAR, so we were supposed to get a favorable decision or whatever the case might be. Paint a picture for us how it's going to work.
Yeah, thanks, Rob. That's actually a very important point that you mentioned, and allow me to be respectfully honest. It's important that we get the information correct from the sources. I've heard statements being made, the stadium doesn't have its own facilities. VAR has got nothing to do with any stadium. The VAR equipment belongs to a service provider, and it will be installed in a particular stadium, and it will work from there. So we, as the VAR project team, we felt that it's only fair that every game take place with VAR, and hence we decided that we cannot start a league halfway or just start like a half championship type of thing. So if we had to start to test, it would be good on a final, because it's a once-off match. But to introduce it during halfway through the season, we found it's unfair and not consistent. It's the same thing with the laws of the game. When IFAB release new laws, it's always done at the beginning of the season. So we are running also with the same philosophy and concept, that we will start the league all at once, so that it's conducive to every team and fair to every team. But not only that, we are also foreseeing that we will be able to, the other leagues will benefit. For example, the HSL league could benefit from this in terms of using video football support, because we have the technology. It's obviously implemented at a half stage, should I say. So we could obviously in future introduce this type of technology into the women's game if possible.
Sure. I was going to ask you that, because is it a rollout of it coming out once across the board, or you're going to be doing it in phases?
Yeah, we are focused on VAR at the moment, and it is obviously in phases. So we want to make sure that we're training. Our schedule of training, when I last looked at it this morning, we're training referees every month now, just specifically to VAR. And as I've said previously, it's a license. It's like a pilot's license. Referees need to have a certain amount of hours under their name before they are classified. And also, not only that, you get some referees who only get classified on the field, and then you get some referees who are classified on the field and in the VAR room. So they're able to be the actual VAR in the cabin, and then the others also that are just referees on the field need to be certified with VAR. Just for you to have a better understanding, it's, for example, when you play a match with VAR and there is an offside that is on a build-up to a goal, with VAR, you need to delay your whistle. So fans, this is something that we need the fans to understand, that when referees start delaying the whistle, it's because there's a promising attack. So basically, the referee will say on the communication kit, delay, 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 meaning when the end of play happens, then the referee will blow for an offside. So in the event that a goal is scored, the referee allows the goal to be scored, and then the offside can be checked, like most of the fans now know. And we obviously have the benefit now where the spectators are starting to understand exactly how the VAR principle works, and I think it's just us aligning to the VAR principles.
And I think the one thing, it's an expensive exercise here, Vic. Maybe it might be an unfair question to you, but answer if you can. Such an expensive exercise comes in, and yet we still have to deal with what we talk about and say we still have these amateur referees refereeing a professional game. And now not only just a professional game, but it's going to be a professional game with added VAR on it. Should the plight of the referee, the human being, not take preference?
Rob, I mean, they go hand in hand, and you're so right. I mean, we hear the odd occasion of I read recently one of our ex-players who's comes coach now complaining about referees should be held responsible. I think people don't understand what actually goes on in the background, and they like to talk off the cuff, unfortunately. But referees are held responsible for what they do. But we can't compare a player who earns an X amount of salary and a referee who's deemed to earn another X of salary, and it's not on the same playing field. And we will never balance the equation if those abnormalities continue to happen. I mean, I would love to turn around to a player who says that and say, okay, why don't you pay a commission of your fee, of your salary towards officiating? Maybe we'll look at that in future, who knows. But yes, we do have to find a balance, and honestly speaking, it is our vision that with the introduction of VAR that we start formulating professional refereeing in South Africa.
Any final word that you would love to share with South Africans? Maybe something we haven't touched on?
No, I think it's also important that we thank the South Africans at large for the support that they are giving referees. We see nowadays that I've always said from the start, it's important that we look at refereeing from a neutral perspective and understand why the referee got a decision wrong sometimes. And also, like I say to the media, it's important that we report on football in a productive way, not in a negative way. Then tomorrow we're knocking on a sponsor's door and we're busy slamming referees or players, etc. So I think it comes together when the whole family sits around the table, and we look forward to improving refereeing and football in South Africa.
How soon is going to be the press conference?
Hey, Malum, don't put me under that much pressure, but we're working on it.
Come on, Malume, you've worked under pressure all your life. This is nothing.
We will give you an update possibly next week already.
All right, I love that. Victor Gomes, as always, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. As I said, that's the man that's really in charge of everything. Hey, SAFA Referees Committee Chairman, Vice President of CAF's Refereeing Committee, and also a FIFA instructor in refereeing technology. He says in a year, the rollout will happen.
#MSW live now on 947 Vuma FM, Rise FM, and Sowetan Live at the same time. #MSW.
When you train for results, you don't quit halfway. Earn up to 7.35% interest with a Nedbank Just Invest account. Access your money within 24 hours. Keep your money agile. Get money fit with Nedbank. See money differently. Nedbank. For more information, visit nedbank.co.za. We're licensed FSP and registered credit provider. T's and C's apply.
Are corporate strategy sessions, family commitments, and fitness pursuits draining you? Stay on top of your game with the world's #1 nutritional supplement drink, Ensure Gold. With HMB and triple protein, it provides 20 essential vitamins and minerals and is clinically proven to boost energy, build muscle, and support immunity. Why settle when you can go for gold? Get the daily strength you need from Ensure Gold. Available at all leading supermarkets and pharmacies. Ensure, the strength experts.
And the best internet service provider goes to AfriHost.
Yo, wow, I have so many people to thank. I need to start with my mother. Love you, Mama. You know, not every kid dreams of becoming an internet service provider, and your support helped me get there. My gratitude also goes out to my great friend, Air Mobile. I always know Air Mobile has me covered. Look, I can't get to everyone, but shout out to Pure Fiber at LTE for fast, problem-free internet. You all rock. Visit afrihost.com for award-winning internet.
Shh, Tula Monday. I see you stuck in traffic. The hooting, the stop-start, your patience running low. It's okay. Don't stress. Because with Spur Easy Mondays, you get a half chicken schnitzel with sauce or an original Spur burger, both with onion rings, chips, and a soda for just $99.90 each. Because Mondays are easy at Spur. People with a taste for life. T's and C's apply.
Some moments are personal. Some spaces are professional. All of them deserve care. At Frond and Filigree, we create handcrafted floral experiences for life's meaningful moments and the places where they happen. From birthdays and anniversaries to hotels, offices, and events, our bespoke arrangements are designed with artistry and intention. Because when flowers are done right, they elevate every moment. Visit frondandfiligree.co.za.
Ask yourself, what matters most? Is it being there for their first steps and still around for their first dance? Knowing you're not just covered, but cared for. Bonitas goes beyond benefits and claims. We're in your corner for what matters most. Bonitas, medical aid for South Africa. Voted #1 medical aid in the Ask Africa Orange Index Awards for the 2nd year running. Visit bonitas.co.za and find your plan.
Previously on Marawa Sports Worldwide.
So let's welcome the man behind Durban City's incredible run, the interim head coach himself, Upitso Dladla. Coach, do you guys have a motto? Chiefs as Amakosi, Pirates, Pagania. What's Durban City? Well, what do you guys call yourselves?
We are citizens, but I will tell you the name that we don't call ourselves. Our neighbors, they call us paprika.
Paprika?
Paprika.
What's that? It's a spice?
It's a spice.
So why are you called paprika?
They should explain.
Who calls you that?
Our neighbors.
You got many neighbors?
We played them the last game.
Arrows?
Exactly.
Hashtag MSW. Hashtag MSW. Not your ordinary Monday. It's Reaction Monday. Hashtag MSW.
Hi, Robert. Nilona Wagamasigani. I just want to say VAR won't help us, to be honest. Even in Europe, it still confused them. We watched the latest AFCON. It was so confusing. I still believe that, you know what, football is football, man. Let's enjoy football. Yes, referees are people. They do make mistakes. But VAR, it's worse. It's worse. Just imagine, like there's a 5 minutes break, then it kills off the momentum of the game, man. That thing is. But great show is always Robert Sharp.
Evening, Rob, Vincent here. Yeah, I must say I'm very excited with the prospect of VAR being introduced into our league. But my worry is, will we get the same, if not the same, but the standard of the VAR that we see in international leagues like your EPL and La Liga and the likes of? Because, what we saw, man, between Stade Malien and Mamelodi Sundowns, those images that the referees were using to make those decisions, for me, I don't think they were very conclusive. They were using wide angles to make those decisions, and especially when you watch CAF Champions League, that VAR is not make sure. So I wanted to know, are we going to get something that is closer to what we are seeing there by La Liga and EPL?
That's a very fair point, though, because we all watched the CAF Africa Cup of Nations, and there were just moments where the wrong angles were brought in, as he says as well. They were using the wide angles as opposed to the angles that are in line with, let's say, if it's an offside call, if the ball's gone over the line. And that's why at times I always say, for me, it's just goal line technology that is needed. I'm still not convinced with a lot of this VAR stuff. I think La Liga have got it spot on. They are able to apply it correctly. I see Premier League, they still struggle a lot with it. And some of the decisions that are taken post-review leaves much to be admired. I believe in what Sepp Blatter said back then. He says, just leave football the way it is. Make the talking points happen at home. It also takes away, sometimes the most important goals get scored. And people are not sure. Should they celebrate? Now they must hold back a little bit and wait a few minutes and then activate their emotion. So VAR is not just controlling, the game or the outcome. It's controlling our emotions as well. It's like, is it a goal? Is it not a goal? Should we wait? Should we jump up and down? So just that human feeling tends to disappear. Would love to hear from you as well. So many people still excited, as we mentioned, the 19-year-old Kimi.
I was watching the Formula One, Kim Antonelli is only 19, guys. 19 years of age. Honestly, was the way he drives. Talent.
How's Marawa? It's Kiosh here. It was so good to see the GOAT, Lewis Hamilton, back in P3, and to see the young prodigy Kimi step onto the top step, as well as to see Man United thrash Aston Villa. Liverpool fans, I'm sorry, but the top four is ours.
Yeah, I think Liverpool just need a coach. We got to be blunt. Yes, they won the league, sure. But where are they now? What's going to happen with them moving forward? Is there structure? Is there a plan? Yeah, something's flat there, hey? Something is flat. But I would love to hear from you, the direct Liverpool fans, what you make of the way Arne Slot is shaping the team up. In the same way I was asking the Man City fans, something similar. Because I'm not seeing the Man City of old, that spark, that genius coming through from midfield. I think there was a stat somewhere where they talked about Erling Haaland having played in, 14 games and only scored 4 goals, something crazy like that. That's not like him. He's a goal machine, that guy. If he steps onto the field, anything from a hat-trick to 4 goals or more. But that's kind of dried up. What is going on?
Good evening, Mr. Marawa, Gary from Aldos. Chock-a-block, exciting sporting weekend. With the exception of my team, Chelsea. I heard good news about the court decision on Abramovich. I just hope that the man would come and reclaim what's his. He's got the money. And then, Robert, I wholeheartedly agree with you in terms of the entire world boycotting this World Cup coming up, because I think everyone wants to dance around the United States, and FIFA, that is supposed to be the governing body, should really ask the tough questions to the United States in terms of security for all teams that are qualified to play in this World Cup, And by rights, Donald Trump started the war. He decided to do it. And to make utterances like that is really unbecoming of POTUS, really. But I feel that all teams in the world should boycott this World Cup to teach Donald Trump a lesson. Thank you. Good show as always. Cheers.
Good evening, Miss Marawa. Good evening to the shareholders of this beautiful show, Miss Marawa. My reaction Monday is Max Dowman. Max Dowman. That name, please keep it in your ears and in your minds. That guy is going to be the next Messi. What a talented young man. And anyway, this time I think Arsenal is going to get it. No matter what happens, we can't lose 2 games and Man City doesn't drop any points. It's impossible. It's ours. This time is Marawa. Kaizer Chiefs, well, I'm happy we won, but we need to reinforce. The team is full of average players. We cannot compete with Sundowns and Pirates. Thank you, Miss Marawa. Edgar from Plukwani. Good show as always.
Good evening, Rob. Good evening to MSW listeners. This is Lawrence from Protead Land. Just like to congratulate Mamelodi Sundowns for the step that they have taken in beating the Stade de Malien 3-0. At home. I hope they keep the same momentum when they go to Mali this coming weekend. But they played very well. Outstanding performance of the champions. Another congratulations goes to Kaizer Chiefs for winning their game. They haven't been winning in such a long time. I think the last game that they won was in January. Now it's March. Congratulations to them. I think the second half was better compared to the other half, and it showed those young players, they've performed very, very, very well. Congratulations to them. Thank you, Rob. Good show as always.
Reaction Monday, Bab Marawa. Rob, this thing of choosing Mbutuma over Mahopa, it will be the end of Pirate's dream of winning the championship. Because if you can check the records, Mbutuma never scored more than 10 goals per season. Never scored for more than 10 goals per season. So to start him over Mahopa, even to keep him over Mabasa, they made a mistake to let Mabasa go. They made a big mistake. But again, Sundowns will win the championship. Yeah. As for Rulani, I love him. I used to speak with him, but the decision he take to leave MCLJ, I don't think it was a wise decision. I really don't think. I wish he can explain to us why he left MCLJ, because he got things control. There is number 1 in the league. He won the cup. He's playing good. I think he chose money over football now. I'm really bit worried about Rulani now. I'm little bit worried. What the decision he take is not right.
Evening, Marawa. The story about Rulani, is it true? And it seems Sudan now is no longer, passionate about the real football. It's only passionate about the money. We know all about money, but I think I'm not sure about the move. It's in the middle of the season, and now he's showing to actual potential employers that he's not loyal. And, if people come dangling a carrot, he takes it. I'm not sure if it was a smart move. I'm not sure at all. So you need a coach who's going to stay in one team, develop himself, because we cannot say per se that Rulani is a complete coach. You need to be complete coach by winning things on your own. At this stage, we cannot really say that Rulani has been winning things on his own, because he has always been under the shadows of Peter Musimane and his co-coaches, Mangoba Mniti and others. So he has an opportunity here to win the league on his own, to win the cup he did. But I'm not sure about this move. If it's true, is he arrested? Is he indeed moving to Al Hilal, or is it Al in the team in Libya, or is it Sudan?
Yeah, you know what? Let's be honest. No one really has spoken to Rulani, but in terms of what he has personally posted, and I'm sure I can share this with you because everybody's keen and asking the very same questions that the last two voice notes have been asking. But also to say to somebody that they are motivated by money when you have not heard from the person to say, was that or is that the motivation? Maybe there are other underlying factors. Why were people so quick to talk about the arrest or how they opened the bags and they found money? I mean, you find money. People travel. Where is he supposed to keep the money? Was you leaving that country, you take the money with you? Or how do people transport money these days? But what he did say in his post was that of a bandwagon fallacy. Everyone's doing it. And the bandwagon, if I have to summarize the picture itself, it's of a crowd of people on the edge of a cliff, and they are watching the one individual who's now taking that leap. And it's even called the leap. And there's just everybody who is there who's watching. And it says beneath that, assuming something is true simply because everyone believes it, popularity isn't evidence. The crowd has been confidently wrong many times before. The herd may be the loudest right before walking off the cliff. I hope that sank in. The last sentence says the herd may be the loudest right before walking off the cliff. So, yeah, many things can be said. And he summed it up and he said that a perfect world is never perfect, only filled with lies. So I can't speak on behalf of Rulani. Those words that he has posted himself is what I'm sharing with you. Lebohang is joining us. Good evening.
Hi, Robert, and thank you for taking my call.
Absolute pleasure.
Thank you. So I hear most of the listeners are saying Rulani is not being loyal to the teams, loyal to the game. He's just chasing money. But if you check in terms of economies of scale, South Africa's economy is actually much stronger than Libya's. And I'm wondering, why can't we then compete at that level? I think that's the question we should be asking instead of antagonizing his decision to take up this opportunity. Because the more we have our coaches breaking these ceilings, even if it's beyond our borders, maybe we can even push for our local PSL coaches to start earning competitive salaries.
No, I agree, Lebong. That's why even with the previous voice note saying that he's always lived under the shadows of your Pitso Msimanes or your Mangoba Mnitis cannot be further from the truth. There's no way. I mean, Rulani's proven himself. It matters not that he's only, 37 years old. He should be celebrating that. We should be celebrating him in terms of what he has achieved and the clubs that he's managed to coach, even outside of South Africa, and the achievements that he's managed to have with those clubs. So that's why I said, up until you hear from a person and you hear their side of the story And that's why I read what the coach posted, is people need to respect that until you hear the other side.
Yeah. And also, I'm a Mamelodi Sundowns fan. I think the people who are really angry are probably the Kaizer Chiefs fans because they definitely need a coach. That's it from me. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Leboang. Thank you very much indeed. Saying that Kaizer Chiefs do certainly need a coach. I'll leave you with another post, though, from Rulani. Ad hominem. And again, it says, attack the person. It's one of the oldest tricks in the book. Attempt to discredit the messenger so you don't have to face the message. An all too common strategy in political discourse. So yeah, you might say very Steve Gompelerish in terms of it. Then he posts, apples in a box and there's one on top and it's gone bad. And the title of this is Hasty Generalization. And it says that someone draws a sweeping conclusion from very limited evidence. Anecdotes are not data. One case does not make a real pattern. Humans love shortcuts, but sound logic requires a larger sample size. Yay! Let me get out of here before I bite my tongue. Let's chew on something tomorrow. It's called #MSW. It is Marawa Sports Worldwide, powered by Hollywood Bets.
This real